Welcome everyone to the first class of the Author's Forge. Today we're going to be talking about book lingo. I thought it was really important to start there before we dive into how to do each of these things, just so everyone understands what the terms are. Sometimes the language is simple, but just hearing someone tell you what it is makes it all that much easier. When I first started publishing, I remember feeling like everyone else knew some secret language that I didn't, and I spent like many, many hours Googling terms just to understand what I was reading. So we're going to start breaking it down simply. So at the very beginning, we're going to start with manuscript. A manuscript is your written book before publication. So whether it's fully complete or you're still editing it or you're still like formatting it, your Word document is considered your manuscript. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to show you guys one of the books I'm currently editing just so that you have pictures with references because I am one of those people that learn by seeing, and I'm thinking a lot of you guys are as well. So we're just going to hit it off from here. So this is one of my books, The Light of the Queen, that I'm still editing. I'm doing a re-edit on it, but we're going to start with the navigation pane. I feel like that's very important. I love the navigation pane. You go up here to view. Mine's already engaged because I always work with it on. But you just click this box here, navigation pane. Um, Navigation pane, it lets you jump between chapters. And also you can organize your book on this side. So if you have a whole bunch of character descriptions that you've been cataloging, you could put that at the back. Obviously you remove that before you go into publishing. I've already taken mine out and put it in a new file, but it's really nice to have while you're writing your book. So if you need to reference a character's eye color or anything like that, you can just go down your navigation pane, click on your character log, and then um, find the information that you need to put into your book. I love the navigation pane. It does require you to use headings. Headings are up here at your homepage. These are your heading styles. I will be showing you how to create those in another video, but those are your headings. That's how you create the navigation pane. The navigation pane and headings is also really important when creating your TOC, which is your table of contents. You can't create a table of contents without having headings. So highly recommended because it pulls from your headings list to make your TOC. You will need a TOC, a table of contents, if you're doing an ebook. Amazon, they don't require it, but they highly recommend it because then the readers can click through your table of contents to get back to a chapter that they're currently reading. Trust me, once your book gets longer, the navigation pane becomes your best friend. Once we move from writing into formatting and we start organizing the book itself, that brings us to terms like front matter. Your front matter is everything at the beginning of your book before chapter 1 starts. So common things in your front matter is the title page and the subtitle page. I'm going to shrink this down for you guys a little bit, actually. Too much. There we go. So I like to have the title page and the subtitle page separate. You can just make this the one page. The reason I like to have it being more than one, the 2 pages, is because when I do book signings, I like to have a spot to sign books and write on them. Ignore this blank page for now. That's part of your formatting for your book. You want title pages and all that stuff to start on a certain side of the book. So front matter, so we said subtitle page, then we get into the copyright page. Also, a dedication page is considered in your front matter. I didn't do a dedication. Instead, I did a poem. I like to write poems. So to help me publish my poems, I put them in my books. And then your table of contents. Also, if you have like an acknowledgement you want to put at the front, like thanking editors or beta readers or family or supporters, you can put that in your front matter. It's also common to put acknowledgements in the back matter, which we'll go over next. And then also you can decide your prologue, if you have one, or if you have an introduction. It can be in your front matter or it can be as part of your body. I include it in my body, which is why the page number starts here. You will notice front matter has no page numbers. Okay, so my prologue is part of my body. We're also going to talk about, let's see here, page breaks and section breaks. So page breaks are important because they separate your chapters. And then section breaks create a completely new section in your document, allowing for different formatting. They're not the same thing. They're two different things. If you need to know if you've put one in or not, you can hit this paragraph button right here. It shows you all your hidden formatting. So you just click on it. I usually work with this on all the time when I'm going through the formatting part of my books, because it shows you all your spaces and all your enter keys too. So you know, like my prologue is 3 enters down. And so I make sure all my chapters are 3 enters down. So they're all starting in the same place no matter what. So dreams. Look, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the paragraph key is really, really important for those types of things. Section breaks are also responsible for how you do your headings and your footers. So headings, this is a heading right here. You just double click on it. And the footing is where your page numbers are. So in typical formatting for books, you have 2 different headings. You have an odd page one and an even page one. So typically on one side you have the name of your book, and then on the other page you have your author name. So section breaks allow you to do the odd and even on there. So it's just really important to understand what section breaks are, because once you get into page numbers, it makes doing page numbers a little bit more difficult. And I say that lightly because you can really mess up your formatting with the section breaks if you're not being careful. I fought this monster personally and survived, so you will too. I'll make sure of it, because once you start doing that, it makes um, it communicate differently, and you have to do the page numbers in a very specific order. This section for page numbers and headers and footers absolutely deserves its own video, because this is where people rage quit Word, and I know, because I spent many hours where I had to shut my computer and I had to walk away, and then I had to go find so many different videos to find the specific issue I was having. So I will absolutely be doing its own video for this headers, footers, and page numbers. Guarantee you. We're going to move on to body matter, which we kind of just talked about. Let me take some of this off for you guys. Oh, header, footer up here. Sorry. We got to close it. There we go. So your body is where your chapters begin. Mine's the prologue. This is your body. Chapters, scenes, maps. If you have pictures, they're all included usually in your body. It's the main content of your writing. And then we move into back matter. Back matter is everything after the end. If I scroll down using my navigation pane, go to the back. So I have a to be continued, not an end, because this is a 3-book series. So in your back matter, you typically have an about author page. You can have like a what's new, you can have a newsletter, you can have all your social links on your back matter. I don't have any of that yet. And then you can also have your glossary back there. Glossaries are typical for like fantasy romance novels, which this is. And so it's explaining terms I've used in the book, because I usually only describe what it means in the first instance when I use it. I don't usually repeat the meaning. And so this is good for readers, just to flip to the back of your book, find your glossary. Like I need to organize this alphabetically. That would make it even more easy, right? But it's really for your readers. Also back here, you could put your acknowledgement if you wanted to. All right, so then next term we have is an ISBN. ISBN is your International Standard Book Number. It's your barcode for your book. So, like mine, that's your barcode for your book. You can purchase these from companies like Bosker, or if you're just starting out, Amazon, if that's who you're using to distribute your book, they provide free ISBNs. If you do that route, you just can't distribute through any other companies because it won't recognize the ISBN. But if you're just starting out with Amazon, you can use theirs. If you later on decide to purchase your own ISBNs, you can just edit your publication in Amazon with your new ISBN number. It's really simple once you learn how to do it, which I will cover in its own video. Trim size is another term you're going to hear. It's literally just the physical dimension of your book, like a 5x8 or a 6x9. 6x9 is usually traditional for romance novels or books. Mine is a 6x9, for example. Oops, sorry. Bleed and bleed is another thing you're going to hear, and it has to do with your pictures in your book. So if you have a picture in your book and you want the edges to bleed to the end of the page, so for example, this is a bleed. The picture goes all the way to the end of the page. That would be with bleed. This is another example I have. This little illustration is just a little pencil drawing. It does not have bleed. It's no bleed. It doesn't need to go to the edge of the page. Formatting is another term, which is just preparing your manuscript so it looks professional. And that is like your margins and making sure that all the spacing is correct, like I was talking about before, with making sure it's indented the right way on every single chapter. ARC readers is another term you're going to hear. ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copy. These are readers who receive your book early in exchange for like reviews or feedback. Another term is imprint. An imprint is a publishing brand or division attached to a book. Large publishing companies often use different imprints to separate genres, audiences, or styles of books. So, for example, HarperCollins owns multiple imprints, including Harley Quinn for romance novels, William Morrow for fiction and nonfiction, and then like Avon Books for their romance and commercial fiction. So, like different traditional publishing houses have different imprints for their books. Like Penguin Random House has another one. They have a Del Rey imprint for fantasy, Ballantine Books for commercial fiction, and Berkeley for romance and fiction. Even though the parent company owns all of them, each imprint has its own style of branding. And so, depending on what type of book you're writing, you would find that imprint within them to submit your book for publishing through their publishing house. You have to do it through the correct imprint, or they'll just reject your application when you do it. I will have a video on that as well. Another term you're going to hear, indie authors. Seems very simple. People are like, am I an indie author? It's short for independent author. So if you're a writer who has self-published your work outside of traditional publishing, you are an indie writer. Congratulations, you're an indie writer. A couple other things. Margins. Most people know what that is. That's just that margins on the side. If you noticed, my margins look a little off here. One side is gapped differently. That is because that is called a gutter. A gutter is another term. Your gutter, those 2 pages, those are the inside of the book. It's for the binding. You use a gutter when you're printing for your paperbacks and your hardcovers. Another term you might hear is chapter ornament. That's what this picture is. Chapter ornament. I got mine on Etsy. And then I use another program to remove the background, which I'll show you in another video. There is a lot. I know there's a lot. It's okay. Don't get overwhelmed by it. But I'm here to tell you that it gets easier the more that you do it. Today was just about understanding the language of publishing so you can start feeling more confident navigating the process. So if you're still feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. We're not expecting you to master this in the first day or overnight. It can take time. That's what the Authors Forge is here for. So, one lesson at a time, one chapter at a time, and one finished book at a time. I hope you enjoyed my first video.